Welcome back to Bleav in Softball. I'm your host, Jenna, and however you got here today, whether you downloaded the audio version on Apple, Spotify, etc., or you're watching video on YouTube, thank you. Welcome back. Subscribe and rate the show wherever you get your pods, too. Follow us on Instagram and X at Bleav in Softball. That's BLEAV. And don't forget about the merch that is available. Click the link in our bio on either page, or you can go to shop.bleav.com to purchase 3 different shirts for you, and let me know what your favorite is. All right, let's go through today's batting order. First, we will be covering our bases. I'll share some call-outs. Then we'll head into today's interview with Odicci Alexander. Just a high-impact player and person from college to pro and beyond. And I just think she's such a cool representative of our game in women's sports. So excited for that. Then we'll bring it home and wrap up with some final thoughts. All right, let's go. Covering our bases. I have to start with sending some love to a Believer. Coacha. That's what those closest to her call her. Many of you know that we have had Florida State head coach Lonnie Alameda on the show in the past. And she announced this week that she's been diagnosed with breast cancer and is undergoing treatment. She also said, luckily, that she feels like she's in a great place with her doctors and her team, her plan, and the support that she has around her. So first, I just want to send some love from us here at Bleav in Softball, and even from the larger Stanford softball community, because she was a Stanford assistant coach before my time with the program, and I know a lot of alums really care about her. And I'm also just so impressed in general how much support the softball world has shown her all over the country. I mean, even the Florida and Florida State game, one of the biggest rivalries in college sports, you know, there they are, the Gators, Tim Walton wearing pink to support her. And there have been tributes from ACC rival Louisville, Florida Gulf Coast University, so many others. And I just think it's a testament to her impact. And the Seminoles are also playing great right now. I think Coach is still really competitive. She said she wants to win. She's like, it's business as usual. But obviously the program is playing for something bigger right now. So we are rooting for her in many ways. And updates from this past week and weekend. In terms of broadcasting, I called men's volleyball for the first time ever this past weekend. I told you guys I was going to. I had a great time. Getting to know the coaches and the players is one of my favorite parts of covering a new program. So that was fun. And I've actually already called a couple of midweek baseball and softball games at Stanford this week. They were both a bit wild and pretty similar, actually. They both featured 10th inning walk-offs. So baseball on Tuesday played Santa Clara. There was a pinch hit RBI single in the bottom of the 10th. That game was 4 hours long. Softball on Wednesday, they played St. Mary's. Kira Chan walked it off with an RBI in the bottom of the 10th as well. That was a 3.5-hour game. I was solo on the call for that one. So really it was just the cardiac cardinal. And I felt like they were really trying to test me, but we survived. And with the D1 Softball podcast, we actually thrived. So another new episode with my co-host Amanda Lorenz out this week. We interviewed Texas pitcher Tegan Cavan, the number 1 P on the number 1 team in the country, and actually interviewed a lot of top pitchers in college softball this year on that show. And I love hearing their different perspectives, their stories, and just the ways that they've reached their success, because there are different ways to get there, whatever works best for you. So hearing those different ways has been cool. And with Tegan in particular, you know, we get to learn about what's behind her presence on the field, but also more about her and her teammates off the field. So check it out. You can find it on D1 Softball's YouTube or download it wherever you get your pods. And then coming up, I'm excited to be on the call this weekend for Clemson at Stanford, the whole series, for many reasons. So obviously, it's a ranked matchup in the ACC. This is a highly anticipated matchup. That is always fun to watch. Good softball. But also there's a personal element, of course. 2 of my former coaches and Believers, by the way, are going head-to-head. So Clemson head coach John Rittman was my college coach at Stanford, and Jessica Allister actually played for and coached with him at Stanford too. So some alums, some extra alums than usual are making the trip to this reunion, and my parents are even going to come into town to visit. So trees everywhere. But as usual, there's going to be lots going on around the country as well to keep an eye on. One person that we always have our eye on is today's guest. So let's head into the interview. She is a Bandits pitcher in the AUSL, 2023 Athletes Unlimited champion, All-American ESPY nominee, and James Madison and USA softball alum Odicci Alexander. Odicci, thank you for joining. It is really exciting to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Well, just jumping right into, we actually had your GM, Jenny Dalton Hill, on the show earlier this year after the draft, which was really exciting just to hear sort of that inside perspective. But now getting to hear a player perspective is pretty cool
Mhm.
too. Do you feel like the draft experience was what you expected? Was it different? What did you think was going to go into it?
It was definitely different. That was my first time, one, being a part of a draft and actually being drafted. So it definitely was exciting. Had some fingernail biting going on. Kind of nervous, but it gave you all the feels of, what it's like to be a professional. So
Yeah, I remember talking with Jenny about how their plan every time was, whether went to plan or it didn't go to plan, they had one every time and how it was just exciting for them from that side. But from your side of it, it's like trying to figure out where you're going to go and where you're going to compete is a little
mhm.
extra exciting. Even though you've been out of college for a few years now and already played professionally, it's a pretty exciting new venture with the
Yeah.
AUSL. What are you most excited about?
Just the traditional part of it, being able to be back with, an actual team, um, and, just building, moments that, you'll never forget. I know there's some moments in college that I've never forget, just in that team atmosphere, and having built those relationships with your teammates. So that's the part I'm most excited about, just sticking to one team and, you know, playing with the same girls for the season.
Yeah, 100%. We actually also had your teammate Sydney McKinney on the
Oh,
show
yeah.
as well. So that's going to be exciting. We're going to be a little biased. We're most excited about you two playing together, right, on the
Yes,
Bandits.
right.
Yeah. But it's going to be really cool to see those relationships flourish. I feel like in Athletes Unlimited, it's been awesome to watch up to this
Yes,
point. I mean, you've had success obviously with it too in the format that we're used to.
right.
But I can't wait to see you guys actually get to stick with it because there'd be so many weeks where we'd be like, oh man, I kind of wish that that team was around longer,
Like, yeah,
or
that's stuck together, right? Same.
yes, exactly. So
I
I'm
feel the
excited.
same way.
Yeah. I mean, how difficult was that, I guess, to and maybe still will be because of the All-Star Cup and all that stuff.
Right. I mean, there were times, of course, where you're like, oh gosh, like I don't know who to draft or like what to do in this moment. And then, oh, they took my pick and, like that type of stuff. But it was more of when I was drafting, like, we're all professionals, right? So nothing really mattered to me more than like what kind of vibe, my teammates had. Like you could have went, 0 for 27 the week before, but if you brought that energy and I love your vibe, like that's what I chose. So the stats really never mattered to me because one, I know everyone there was, really, really good at what they do and, just drafting people that, play with heart and, just were themselves.
Well, I feel like you do a really good job of that, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
I try.
yes, but also the vibe definitely contributed because I feel like you guys would always come up with your own team names week to
Yeah.
week and themes and those types of things. So those would get pretty creative. I guess the pressure's
Yeah.
off now that you don't have
Yeah.
to do that as much.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun though, I will say, just being in that seat. It was a lot of fun. Um, just it is different, it's like a fantasy league almost and every week, choosing different teams was it was interesting, but it was fun. It never took away the fun from the game. So grateful to, I was a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Mhm.
now you're in Louisiana right now
Yes, I
at,
am.
yes, one of the locations that
Yes.
AUSL will be at this summer in its first season in this sort of nomadic version of it. And how is this preseason tour going? Because it's so cool that you guys are doing this leading up to opening day on June 7th.
I know it is super cool. One, I've never been to this part of Louisiana, so just seeing, one where we will be at, and coming to, it's interesting. Definitely trying the food here. That's something big. That's something big. I had some crawfish last night, which was really good. So just stepping out my comfort zone and just learning, different cultures and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited, for AUSO to come here.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you liked it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I remember my senior year we played regionals at Louisiana with the Raging Cajuns, and um, the parents were all talking. We mostly, ate at our hotel, the boring
Yeah.
like team meals kind of thing. But the parents were all talking about like these great places that they went to go eat, and it sounded
Hmm. Yeah. Big deal. I had a good time last night. When you come
good.
here, you have to get that. You have to get some type of seafood, fish or something like that. I guess that's huge here. So definitely have to try it. And it was good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love to
Yeah.
hear that. And it's just cool how many locations were interested, one, in
Right.
supporting and being a part of this first year and AUSL in general. But I think it's cool to see the support and the tie to the college softball locations too. You're going to play at Utah. The players will be at Wichita State again,
Yeah.
Alabama. Like so many, you know, stadiums that we know and love from the college side that are tied into this league too. And that seems like a really important bridge.
Yeah. No, it's huge. And just to see what the athletes are doing now, just turn the different cities that we will, attend. I mean, it's big because one, I never thought softball was huge, that big in Louisiana, kind of, because you have like LSU, the Raging Cajuns, and stuff like that. But just coming here and seeing Jenny Finch and her World Series, like that's big, and I'm super excited to come back to Louisiana. So
That's the other part of it, the absolute legends that are a part of this league
yes,
and
like it's
everybody coming together, right? Like you guys who are still playing, there's
right.
so much that you all have done, but then the Jenny Finch, Jessica Mendoza, Natasha Watley, so many people, Kat Osterman, who are all
It's
involved in
huge.
this.
It's a big deal. And I'm just, I'm over here still fangirling over, the people that, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I get to do this interview with Jenny Finch. Like, I'm still that little girl, um, growing up because she was definitely one of my role models, along with Natasha Watley and Kat and, all the big names. So just grateful to be here for sure. I can say that.
I love that because no matter how many little fangirls that you're going to have and that you do have, you're still going to have a little bit of
Yes.
that.
I feel like I'm still that little girl, like, oh my gosh, can I get an autograph? Like,
It's so good though, because don't we want to keep that kind of joy like about the
yes,
game? If you don't
definitely.
have that, why are you still playing, right? So I love to
Right.
hear that you do.
Yes. Should be excited. It should be fun.
Yeah, 100%. Could not agree
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And the unity, I would say, with
Yeah.
AUSL and everything Athletes Unlimited is doing. Like the tagline in the "This is legendary" campaign. The largest campaign in pro softball history. First off, pretty
Yeah.
exciting. But I think one of the things Jessica Mendoza said when she did the voice for it is, where we're all one team, even if we're rivals.
Right.
That seems like it's really symbolic of where pro softball is headed.
No, it is. And we know as a whole, as a one unit, like where we want this game to go. So I feel like that is a big part, of AUSL too. Like, yeah, we're four teams competing against each other, but we all know where we want this game to go and how much we want it to grow.
Yeah. And because you do have professional experience, obviously, under your belt already, what seems like it is making this a little bit different? Because that's what everybody keeps saying. This feels a little bit different in a good way.
Hmm.
Something super, a little extra exciting about it. What do you think that is about this new
Well, for
league?
me, for me personally, one, I've never really been a part of like, I mean, I have obviously you have like the college culture and the college atmosphere and stuff like that of like doing the traditional side of things. And, with this, I've never been a part of a pro league that, travels to different cities type deal like I personally haven't. And just to be a part of that is something big. One, I get to travel to, places I've never been. I get to travel to places that, my family gets to come to and, watch us play and stuff like that. And just, it's growing and I feel like softball's going in the right direction. And, as a younger athlete, that's something that, I wish we had, around. Like, obviously we had like the NPF type of deal, but it wasn't as big,
Yeah.
as of right now. So I feel like it's huge, just to show the little girls like you can be here too. And, you know, I mean, it's a dream come true for me, honestly.
And that's not always easy Meaning
Right.
like reaching one of your goals. As
Yeah.
funny as that sounds, like you
No,
said in,
seriously.
yeah, you said in college, you were like, I want to go to the Women's College World Series. And then you
Boom.
did that,
Like
right?
what?
That's so cool. And then you play professionally, right? And you're
Yeah.
still moving forward in your career. But
Right.
to actually reach a goal, what does that feel like, and where do you go from there? Because I think sometimes we don't think about, oh, okay, what's going on next after this?
Honestly, sometimes it gets like overwhelming, like, but like in a good way. Like I'm like, geez, like I did that. And sometimes people as humble, I consider myself, very humble and I don't always like pat myself on the back and say,
Mm.
girl, like, I am freaking proud of you. Like, you did that. Like, you never have those moments. And I kind of grew into those moments of like, girl, you went to the World Series. You beat Oklahoma. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? Things like that. I'm like, yeah, I did do that. But
Yep.
those are moments I sit with myself and like, you know, I don't go out preaching that to the world, but like, just sitting in the moment sometimes and being like, I'm one of 60 to step on the field and be a professional softball player and just to have the ability, to step on the field is, I'm super blessed and, I love it. I still love this game. I have a huge passion for it and, I'm going to try to play as long as I can. So yeah, definitely probably very bittersweet when I wrap it up, but
Sure. But as long as you can, I'm with you
yeah,
there. We
as long
want you
as
to
I
play as
can.
long as you can. Even
Yes.
that's more and more a viable option.
Yeah.
It used
Well,
to
it's
be just college for the most part for most
right.
people, and that's it. But the fact that that's what we're talking about now
Yeah.
is exciting.
Yes, it is. What a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Like 60 girls, and
It's
I'm one of
crazy.
two. Wow.
Yeah.
I have to
It's
sit on
crazy.
that sometimes, like seriously.
Yeah.
But
How
yeah,
how do you balance that too? Like reflecting, like you're saying, hey, let me give this its moment when it's
yeah,
due, but you're also obviously a competitor. You're trying to get better at all times, still trying to push, push, push. How
yeah.
do you live in that in between?
It's hard. One, obviously a lot of us, as professionals, we have to have other jobs and stuff, but
Yeah.
you know, really taking the time to, pour into yourself. Like, yes, I love the game. I want to continue to play this game. What I need to do to continue to just be great. And obviously, we all have our different routines and how we cope with things. But with me, like, I continue to invest in the sport. Like, I have a softball facility ready to open up, which is huge for me because that was also one of my goals is to, have my own. And that's huge too, just to continue to invest in the game and watch this game, continue to grow and be where us women in sports want it to be. And that's every sport, for women. Like, where do we want women in sports to be? And my goal now is just to invest in that and get it to where it needs to be. So that's how I look at, softball. That's how what I think about when I step on the field is, I have younger, female athletes watching me. Like, I want them to be here and I want them to be better. I want them to be better than me. I want this game to be better than where it is right now. So yeah.
Well, even that mindset is, I feel like, only for the elite to actually want people and mean it to be
Right.
even
Yeah.
better than you, right?
Yeah.
Because
I do.
you're a competitor. We're all competitive, right?
Yeah, we
It,
are.
but that's the big picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I look forward to, the bigger picture,
Yeah.
but also
Um,
taking the small steps to get to the bigger picture.
Great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yes, because we don't just get, there's no fast track.
Yeah. No, one step at a time.
Yeah,
And the small things matter.
exactly. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up your facility because I know you work with 643
Yes.
and you're trying to grow the game as well. So I would love to hear more. So from my perspective, I just learned more about 643. I work with D1 softball and we
Yeah.
just partnered with them. So we're super excited about that. But
Did
to
you
hear
guys
your
do
experience,
video in Clearwater? I feel
we
like I
did.
saw, and
Yes.
yeah, that was pretty
Yes.
cool. I was supposed to be there, but your girl was just traveling so much that it was a lot. So
Listen, you're
I
booked
wish I
and
was
busy.
there.
I get
Yeah,
it.
it was a lot. But yeah, I missed that. But how'd that conversation go? I heard it a little bit.
It was great. I mean, just to hear about how it's so, and to your point, women in sports, right? So it's female focused. So the
Yes.
facilities are meant for girls, it's meant for softball. and to help develop them versus, we all grew up going to baseball cages and
Yep.
and kind of just
Competing
trying to.
against boys. Like, no, this is my time. This is my time.
Exactly. So the fact that it's for us is
Yes.
so cool. So why was that important for you to be a part of that?
That one, when they, reached out to me about, owning one, it changed my life because, like I said, that's always been a goal to be a part of something like that. And like I said before, like our goal is to what? Grow women in sports. And it's just not just softball, but obviously that's where I landed.
Yeah.
But
We're glad you
women in
did.
sport, right? Women in sports in general, like that's my goal. Like I want these kids to be better than me. Like, girl, go out there and reach for the freaking stars. Like, you can do it. And that's what I try to instill in them. Like, you're human, you're gonna make mistakes. Like, it's fine. But to be here and to have a building, something that I never had growing up, is huge. Like, 643 is something I wish I had when I was younger. And the kids come in. Obviously, I'm there. I don't consider myself a celebrity or whatever. Nothing like
Others
that.
do, but that's fine. We'll
Yeah.
go with it.
Nothing like that. But just to see the kids' faces like light up when they do see me, which, like I said, I don't consider myself super cool or anything, but it warms my heart. And to see them grow in this game is huge for me, and it definitely brings me so much joy just to see them, you know, reach for the stars and come in and work so hard on their craft and build their craft and just grow. Like I've had kids that I've had for a long time, and just to see the progress in them, it's warms my heart so much. And that's what I feel like this game is all about. Any sport, honestly. I wish I did play other sports now, but you know how it is. But yeah, just to see women in sports, go to the top is our forever goal with 643. And that's not just softball. It's, I feel like, in every sport to see
Yeah.
them reach the top. So big deal. And I can't wait to, open it up. It opens up in a couple of weeks, hopefully, and we get rolling. And I know, right?
That's so
I'm so
exciting.
excited. So excited. So yeah, it's huge. And of course, I'll have most of my teammates try to come in and, continue to build that chemistry and that atmosphere up to let them know that you can be right where we are.
Mhm.
So yeah.
It's so cool because of how much it affects the whole spectrum of our community. Meaning,
Right.
you're talking about, of course, the kids who are going to these facilities, training and learning. But then
Hmm.
even for you to be in a position, so not only does it provide that for the young ones, but then here you are, professional, and you get to do something and reach one of your goals as well by
Yes.
having your own franchise and those types of things. So it providing the opportunities from everything, it feels like, from A to Z is pretty awesome. I don't know if it really
Yeah.
gets much better than that.
Yeah, it doesn't. And it's just, I pray so much. And, it can get overwhelming. Like,
Yeah.
but to see your dreams and stuff like come true, it's like a feeling that you really can't explain because you're just like, wow, God's really making it shake for me right now. And I'm just like, wow, he answered, So I'm like, just at awe of, my journey, where my journey is honestly taking me to, and to just be where I am today. I'm super blessed, super grateful. And yeah,
I love that you always have a lens for multiple sports too. You've said it multiple times. Not
yes,
just
women
football,
in
but
sports,
sports. Women in sports.
no
Yes.
matter what it is, it could be speed walking. Get to the top, girl.
Yes, I love that. And the fact that you did play basketball, volleyball, other things,
Yeah,
before college as well.
yeah,
I just think that's great. For women in sports, across sports, to work together is obviously also a benefit.
yes. I
Athletes
want it to be
Unlimited
to the
does a
point
good
where they're
job.
like, MLB who?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we're
Who's
their
him?
favorite players are you guys, even,
Yes. Yeah.
instead of like the other way around, which isn't a bad thing, but just kind of
Yeah.
cool that that's even an opportunity now.
I mean, I'm not knocking the MLB. I love the MLB, of course. Like,
Yeah.
but hey, too
Yeah.
much on you guys. We need fan us a little bit,
Oh, I'm with you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Yep. You found
Yeah.
I'm your
Cool.
audience with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like you have always though done a great job of recognizing and understanding that you're playing for something bigger. Like
Something
even
so much bigger.
yeah, even back to your college days, like we talked about the World Series run, it was JMU's first ever in program history, right?
Yes.
And you were such a big part of that, of course, naturally being in the circle.
Yeah.
But just your presence and your experience, even with your family there and everything, I think was so inspirational for so many.
Yes. I preach that too. Play for something big. What are you playing for?
Yeah,
Why do you play softball?
yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, you get the answers like, because I like it. Okay. But why? Why?
yeah,
Really, you gotta dig down deep. And this is obviously not just for softball. This is any sport. Like, you really gotta dig down deep and be like, why am I stepping on this field? It's like, and once I hit that point, I feel like I just went up and like forever grateful for those moments, of course. But I know me and Bubba, we had this thing where, well, the 2023 season, I think I won that season where my motto was just like attitude of gratitude. Like, just,
mm,
girl, be grateful to step on this field. You have two legs, you have two arms, you have hands, you can throw the ball, like, you can hit the ball. Like, that was like my motto. And I was just so grateful for the smallest things, like just being able to write, being able to sit here and talk, like things like that. And I feel like that's why I was just so successful in that season. And you know, it's hard to get into that part because you're playing for points and you're playing for money, and it's hard to get into that like that
yeah.
mental space. But being able to get there and just feel free and play with such a high spirit, like it was great. So I always preach, play for something bigger, have that attitude of gratitude. There's so many people that want to be where you are. Never take, things like that for granted. And yeah, preach
And
that.
yeah, that's so important for young girls to hear.
Yeah.
Because, of course, there's that fire in you as well, but it's not like you were telling yourself every second, okay, I'm going to destroy everybody. And like that was
Yeah.
your mindset. Your mindset is, I'm going to be grateful in this moment and I'm going to
Yeah.
compete, of course, every single
Yes.
pitch. I think that's important because it's
Yeah.
not just about the outcome. You're like, I think I won that season. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Good
Um,
part.
yeah, but not just the outcome, right? It's just that's why I'm always curious on what that process was to get to
Right.
the and I'm so glad that you gave us a glimpse into what your mindset was.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's what it is. I try to keep it there. Sometimes, you can run off the road a little bit, but, I
all
try
of
to keep
us.
it straight on.
Yeah, no, that's what it's all about, right? Even if we veer
Yeah.
off a little bit, just coming back to it. But to your point, you have to know why.
Yeah.
Like
And I
everyone
didn't
talks
grow.
about
It
their
took
why.
me a while. It took me a while to grow into that. And I guess that just comes from just experiences and stuff like that. So even when I preach that, to the younger generation, it's like, is it clicking with them?
Yeah,
Because it didn't really click with me until,
right,
further down the
right.
road. So now I try to really instill into them like now, like, girl,
Yeah,
attitude of gratitude. You have a
yes,
$400 bat. I
yeah.
did not have a $400 bat when I was 10, okay?
Seriously, it's a great
Be
point.
grateful. Tell your parents thank you.
Yeah, wow, it's crazy today
But
with oh
yeah,
my gosh, that could be its own like series if
I'm
we
telling
wanted
you.
to talk about that.
I'm telling you. Not one $400 bag. You have three $400 bats I see in that bag. Girl,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had Walmart.
It's true though. I
I'm
remember
telling
like
you.
yeah, man. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. The fact that those are available is really awesome, but you're right.
Right.
It's such a balance I think in women's sports in particular, but kind of in general where we want to be grateful for how far we've come where we're at, but then we're also still trying to push further.
Yes.
And it's like you have to check yourself almost all
Right.
the time, right?
Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for every whoa. Pump the brakes.
Yes. It's like, wait a second
Seriously.
here. This is awesome. I'm so grateful. But then also, I would imagine, especially because you are so humble, that sometimes you might, like you were saying, it's like give yourself a little bit of credit too. Push
Yeah.
yourself to have that moment to be like, you
Yeah.
know what? I am pretty badass. Like it's okay to feel
Yeah.
that way
Enjoy
sometimes
it
too.
and embrace it. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I am a professional softball player.
Yeah.
I'm one of 60 girls to be out here. Like,
Yes. Seriously.
sometimes I have that moment, but like to myself.
Yeah, yeah. But that's
Yeah.
but you being there and having this kind of presence, like being who you are, is just it's so important in that way. I think that's why everyone fell in love with the run at the World Series that you all had
Yeah.
at JMU too, because it wasn't just you guys playing so well. Of course, that's like inspiring in itself, but it was just the way you all went about it and what you represented. I mean, even being a mid-major program. And you
Right.
said it like, yeah, we beat Oklahoma. That was during the four-peat too, by
Yeah,
the
I was
way.
like,
Yeah.
did we just beat them? Let's go to the hotel. It's time to go. I really didn't even like comprehend what was going on. I was just like, oh, we
Yeah,
we just did that.
we did that.
Like even in the interviews, like after the game, I'm like, I don't know what just happened, but I'm ready to go get some food. Like
Yeah.
it was a wild time.
It's so funny
But yeah,
because yes, in those moments, I feel like you'll always get questions from the media.
yeah.
What was going through your mind or how does it feel or
I
whatever it
don't
is.
know.
And sometimes it's like you're actually pretty disconnected or there'll be
You are.
a conversation in the circle, right? Like catcher calls timeout and they're like, what are they talking about right now? And it's like they could be talking about what they're going to eat after the game.
Yeah,
Like we don't know.
that's me.
Yeah.
100%.
Whatever it takes
So
to get you like in the
what'd you
mindset.
put on your pre-order?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready for some ribs.
Seriously. Because
No, that
sometimes
was
that's what
definitely
you need
me.
though.
And some pitchers are different, or like some
Yeah.
teammates are different where they need to hear like you need to get it together, or no, you come talk to me. I'm like, girl, let's just get this out because I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Seriously
ready
though.
to go.
Yeah. But
People
that's why
screaming at us.
oh god. No kidding. No kidding. And that's why the
Yeah,
catcher is so important too, right? Like their ability to work with all of you, uh, and the different personalities and the different
yeah,
approaches, mindsets that you have, like that's always impressive to me too. Their ability to manage all of those things.
yeah. Well, even the first game, like my teammates were like just so excited, of course, but like we didn't have a escort to the field, right? So we kind of showed up 20 minutes before the game.
That's
And I'm just sitting there
right.
chilling, like, I'm like, it is what it is. Like, we'll get there when we get there. It's okay. We're playing the number one seed, Oklahoma. Like, whatever. I'm just
Casual,
gonna
yeah.
wing it. I'm just gonna wing it. So I probably warmed up for like 5 minutes, and then we had to hit the field. And I'm just like, God, whatever happens, happens. I'm just,
Yeah.
we're here. We're here. So just embracing the moment, and just we
It
won.
almost took the pressure off, I'd imagine. I mean, my mom used to make fun of me because I'd almost play better when I was sick.
Yeah,
Just
snow.
because you're
That's a
not thinking.
thing. That is a
Yeah.
thing. Okay, I thought I was on. Okay, that's true.
No, no, it's a
That's a
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like just taking that pressure off yourself and then you get to play
Same.
more freely. I guess we always
Yep.
talk about that, but to actually do
Yes.
it is a really special feeling.
Yeah. When you hit that moment where you're just free and you're like, one, I know I'm really good at what I do, because you've put the work in, you've prepared yourself for this moment. It's just like, whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. And you just,
Yep,
it's the best of the best.
exactly. And then you have moments like your viral moment that's going to be replayed probably forever for the World Series and the
I don't
promos and
know
all
how that happened.
the diving, out that you were able to make. Well, first of all, I just love athletic pictures. Here
Yeah.
for it, all about it. I was fired up when I saw that personally, but obviously so was the entire country because that moment was so cool.
They were like, what did she just do? I'm like, I don't know either. Don't ask. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's just get this next out. Let's go.
exactly. However you can, right?
Yeah. There was a lot going on in that last three outs. I'm like, the obstruction call. I'm like, oh my gosh, like here we go. Don't do this right now. Don't
Yeah.
do this. Don't do it. But yeah, it was fun.
Well, I think it's interesting too because obviously you all had been working hard and had a great season up until that point. I mean, people will call it a Cinderella story a lot of times, but it didn't come
It
out.
wasn't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not.
It did not come out of nowhere, and even throughout your whole
No.
career, right?
JMU was always close to the World Series. We just didn't hit that point. Like we
Yep. Yep.
We would always make it to supers and like,
Yep.
but we've always been like that ever since I've been a part of JMU. Like we always had the team, of course. Like of course, every team thinks we should be in the World Series, but
As they
like
should.
I'm not even
Yeah.
kidding. Like we've always had that team where I'm like, hey, we're really good.
Yeah.
Like we could
Yeah.
be in the World Series, and that year we made it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, of course, my last year. This is great.
Yeah.
What a great graduation gift.
Yes. Yes. But it catapulted you all individually and as a program into more of the mainstream conversation. Should have been a part of it sooner. We can
Right.
definitely argue that, but
Yeah.
it forced it, right? It's like
Yeah.
be so good they can't ignore you. All right. Well,
Yeah. Of
that's sort of how it happened. So
course, we have
experiencing
the
that part.
doubts.
Yeah.
What were like some of the tweets like, "Oh, he's gonna beat them 10-1." I was like, okay. First of all, I'm not gonna let OU score no 10 runs on me. Take
Yeah.
me out.
Like I take that personally that
No, I
they
took that very person. I'm like, first of all, no, they're
yeah.
not gonna run rule us. No, no way. Not if I got something to do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that just comes all with knowing who you are as a player. What I bring to the table, I knew that for sure. I'm like, I don't care who you play. They ain't
Yeah.
scoring no 10 runs off of me.
Yeah.
Take me out when you get to 5. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, let's also think
Mm.
through the plan here.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no. ERA? No, no.
Yeah.
Don't run it. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. But
So many doubts.
that's the thing is how it's like how to manage that. It's how to kind of quiet the doubts. Everybody naturally once in a while, at
Yeah.
least
I feel like as
and
a
feel like
team, we really didn't care. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it put like fire in us, but we were more so like more about our community who believed in us and like knew we belonged at the World Series and knew we had what it took to, beat Oklahoma and stuff like that. I didn't really care about what people think we
Yeah.
shouldn't be here. Yes, I should be here actually. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually you're wrong, so thanks.
You're
But
wrong. But I'm gonna lean towards the people that believe that I should be here. I don't really, you know,
right.
look into stuff like that.
Right. But I think it's cool that you've also paid it forward. Or actually, I like to ask this question too to people. Do you feel like some of the things you do now, do you feel like it's paying it forward or giving back?
I feel like now, both.
Yeah.
I feel like both. Yeah, definitely.
I feel like
I'm going,
there is no right answer, but if there were, I
yeah,
feel like that's it, you know?
yeah, it's no right answer. I'm going both for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So your
that's
ability to do that as a professional, but also even with the college game, like AUSL sponsored the HBCU Invitational, and I know you were there,
that was
right?
so much fun. Like I've never
Yes.
been a part of something like that. I had a ball.
Yeah.
Like the energy there, I was like, wow, this is what it's like.
Yeah.
I had a ball there.
Yeah.
Definitely, if they have that every year, I want to be in attendance to that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
And
want to be a part of
did
that.
you throw first pitch?
I did. And,
Yes.
I'm really not good at throwing out first pitches. Like I don't know where the ball's really gonna head to.
That's
I know I'm a
ironic, right?
pitcher, but like it's like a weird thing. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Well, it's
Like,
not
do I
like you're
throw
going
this 70 or do
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you were with some other AU women too,
Yeah,
right?
Aaliyah
Nice.
Andrews was there. We had Natasha Watley there, of course.
Yeah.
That's my girl. But yeah.
Yeah. She's awesome. She was one of the first guests ever on this show. I want to
Wow.
say she was episode 4. Yeah.
Look at that. Role
She's an
model.
OG. Yeah.
She is. She's definitely an OG.
Yeah. And I think her and Victoria Hayward, so another AU woman,
Okay.
are the two that have been on the most, like 3 or 4 times each, something like that.
Okay.
Um, so,
Listen, you can call me anytime.
special. Oh, yeah.
Just
I
let me
might be
know.
planting a seed here. We'll
Hey,
see.
there. Anytime you need me.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
But
Yeah.
Natasha, her foundation, so many of the things that she does, she's left a legacy, but I feel like she's still building it, right?
Yes, she is still going. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to be you. Still, and like that's another role model that I'm like, ah.
Oh, 1,000%. Even just
Yes.
interviewing her, I was like, is this real life? Like,
Yeah.
what's
No.
happening? You know?
I'm staying beside Natasha. Cool.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
big deal.
exactly,
Like I feel
exactly.
like kids don't get that. They like I'm still, like,
Yeah,
wow, cool. And we just talk like normal people. I'm like, girl, I'm really fangirling right now.
yeah.
Can we
Play cool, play cool, play cool.
can we take a pic?
Yeah, yeah, for real. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's awesome.
But I feel like you're building your legacy.
I'm
You know.
trying.
Yeah. Not just
Yeah.
college, pro, beyond.
Yeah, just my brand, you know, what I believe in, in the game, women in sports. Try my best.
Yeah. What do you hope at the end of the day, when a long time from now, hopefully,
A long
done
time.
playing, but also you'll probably still be involved in the sport, I'd imagine, and to some degree, even when you're done playing. But when you hang up the cleats, what do you hope that your legacy is that you left?
Wow. I could go on and on about that. Just who I was is not just a softball player, but as an individual, of course. And, just someone who left everything on the field, played for something bigger. Somebody who just you want to be around. Everyone wants to be around her just because of her, demeanor, who she is, like all that good stuff. So my biggest thing was just to let younger girls know that you have life outside of your sport as
Yeah.
well. And even now, that's something I try to lean back on. Like, yes, I play this game and I tend to think I'm great at it. Yeah, I tend to think I'm great
Yes.
at it. But what do you lean back on? Like, what helps you when softball's not, working out? And to me, that's like my family. That's to the next generation, growing to, becoming a college athlete or professional, like, things like that. What do you lean back on? So that's something I want them to know. Like, leaving my legacy, like, you have the resources and all of that to, be great or do whatever you believe in, and whatever you put your mind to. So yeah, I feel like I kind of summed that up. It's a lot, but
Yeah. Well, when you say you're playing for something bigger, it's not just one thing,
no,
right? So there's a lot that goes into it.
it is.
Yeah.
Like I love my family, in college. Like that was something because I was adopted by my grandparents. Those are two people I never wanted to disappoint, and that came in with, the grades. So keeping my head in the books
Yeah.
and, just trying to be successful as a student, as well as an athlete. And I knew for a fact, like just hearing my grandparents say, "We're proud of you," is something that I'll never forget, things like that. Hearing that from them who raised me to be, who I am today, it means a lot. So some people you might lean back on, your purpose as your parents or, whatever. It could be your dog.
Yeah.
It could be whatever comes from your heart. Use
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yes. I remember tearing up a little bit when you were talking about them in some of the interviews at the World
Gonna
Series.
make me tear up now.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wait,
No,
I'll give you a virtual tissue.
no,
Um,
thank you.
but the people who support us, they always say it takes a village to raise a kid. Then it certainly does to raise an athlete, a student
Yes.
athlete as well, because the community's everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And my small community was definitely everything. They were, on it all the way through. Still to this day, they think I'm a rock star, and I'm like, no, like, this is my like we're a part. We're all in this together. So yeah, I love going back home and having that home cooked meal from grandma and
Yes.
stuff like that. Like that means the world to me. So that's why I continue to work hard and do what I can to one make sure they're okay and they have everything they need because they for sure did it for me.
Yeah.
And just being able to give back is it's huge to me. Whatever they need. You need a roof on the house? Cool. I'll figure out a way to do that.
Yeah.
Like, things like that. You need a new bathroom, new walk-in shower, fine. Like, I got it. We'll figure it out. So just being able to, help them in whatever is that's what I live for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love to hear that. I'm very close with my family too, and As grandparents get older, there's a lot
Yes,
of conversations within the family about different things like that. Like, oh, they need to do this,
100%.
they need to do that, um, and with you even being literally adopted by them as well, it's like next level, right? But
Yes.
appreciate, I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So every moment I have with them, I cherish because obviously we get old. Like, of course, we never want our grandparents to get old, but
Yeah,
like, it's life. And, every moment I have with them, I cherish.
yeah, special relationship for sure with
Yeah,
grandparents.
definitely in the moment. And try to be in the moment, really.
Yes.
No phone. Ozzy,
Mm.
why aren't you answering? I'm with my grandparents, okay?
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. It's funny because my grandparents love music. My dad's side, they actually had a family band growing up, which is pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow.
But my grandpa will ask me all the time to look up a song, let's say, and he'll be like, "Hey, Mija, ask your phone about this song, or ask your phone about this or that." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "You Google, like you want me to Google
Yeah.
it?" So once in a while, they ask me to take out my phone. But for the
Yeah.
most part, you're so right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like just to be connected.
Yeah. Even the voicemails from my grandma, because I guess that's just an old school thing. Like when I don't answer the
Yeah,
phone from her, which I always call her back because, you know,
yeah,
you
of
never know.
course.
Hey, she'll leave a voicemail like, just calling about, just seeing when you were leaving town. Bye, love you. Like I keep those because she doesn't know how to text. So
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
can send her a text and she'll read it, but she doesn't know how to text back. So she'll call and send a voicemail like, "Hey, got your text. Thank you for doing that," or whatever. Like those voicemails I'll forever keep, like, because they're just so cute. Like,
yeah, yeah. That's so
yeah,
sweet. It's the
that's grandma.
foundation. Yeah, right? The foundation too, when then you go into these team situations like your experience at JMU and like they become family.
Right?
Teammates are, there's nothing quite like teammates.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
I love my teammates. And I have
yeah,
made some of my best of friends in college. Even my coaches, like those are people like, you're coming to my wedding,
yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah, 100%.
you guys had a huge impact on my life. You're invited to my wedding. I will, forever, you know, remember like everything we went through in college because wow. From the
Yeah.
start to the finish. I know they had a piece of work with me, but you know I love them. I love them so much. So grateful to have them in my life. And yeah, not everyone gets, that. Like, some people have different experiences in college with, different coaches and stuff. And I'm just forever grateful to have the coaches that I did have, to want to see me actually be great. So yeah, they really poured into me and, pouring back into them. We went to the World Series.
Yeah, yeah. And even off the field, just acknowledging how you all have really represented Lauren too,
Yes,
and just kept her close in your
still so
hearts,
close.
and even just it radiates, like from as somebody from the outside, just seeing how you all went through that tragedy together, but also, it means something to you to remember her.
Oh, it definitely does. Share all of our videos all the time, our memories. We had a Snapchat streak.
Yeah,
She was a good human.
yeah,
And, the mental health in sports it's big. Um, so even now, like just training the younger generation, which is what I do now,
yeah,
you really just try to pour into these girls to let them know, like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to, open up. Because I really struggled with that as well going into college because you don't really
yeah,
know. Really didn't know what to expect. I
yeah,
never really thought about going to college anyway. It kind of just came up. And there's people to talk to. And I know as soon as I open up actually to my coaches, like, just let them know, like, more about me, where I came from. Like,
yeah,
this is why I probably caught an attitude in that moment. Like, things like that. Like,
yeah,
helped me throughout my career and for them to, understand that and just understand me as a human, made me even more successful. And, that's a big part, I feel like, in any sport you play. And that's male, female, whatever, in college, in the pros, like you have resources and you have people to talk to. And I feel like AU does a good job of that. and just branching out to, everything like the LGBTQ, all of those things that, we need as humans. And, you know, they do that. So I'm grateful for AUSL and, the resources that they do bring to the table because I know for sure it helps us as athletes and as humans.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad that that's the case because I feel like a lot of times when I've spoken with athletes as part of AU, they have shared the same sentiment.
Hmm.
And that's just so important because it's the whole person, right?
Yeah,
Off the field too, not just what's going on the field.
it
And
is.
AU seems like it does a great job of that.
And they definitely take care of that. So grateful for that.
Yeah.
And just the environment they put us in the space that we have to be ourselves.
Yeah. Definitely. And even you getting to wear number 22 to represent her, like that was so special. And I just,
Yes.
I'm excited to see how you go forward with all this season and beyond.
Yes. That meant a lot, those numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. And
LB means a
you're,
lot.
yeah, she'll be with you, right? You know?
Every time, every pitch,
Yeah.
every at bat, she's there. I know that for sure. That's another feeling. You feel that.
Yeah.
I know even, sometimes when I throw the ball, sometimes I feel like I'm throwing to Lauren. Um,
Yeah.
it's a crazy feeling, different type of feeling, but definitely gets me through some of those tough situations, you get in ball games. For sure. You just think about, things like that and vision her behind the plate. I'm like, oh, I got it. You know,
Yeah. 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 Different types of family for sure.
it is for sure.
Yeah.
It's my
Well,
girl.
yes. Yeah. And I hope that, you know, this season with the AUSL, but just beyond, even just in your life, that everything goes well for you this year. I'm so
I appreciate
glad
it.
that we were able to connect. I do play a game with everybody who comes on the show to wrap up. It is, don't worry. I
Okay.
know some people are like, uh-oh, what does that mean? No,
What
it's
is
it's called
okay.
Safer Out. It's just fun. You get to be the umpire, so that's a nice change.
Oh, umpire is actually really hard. So I give
It
them
is.
sometimes the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, but sometimes I'm like,
Right.
dude.
Sometimes, seriously. Yep, I am with you there. But yes, thankless job for sure. We need more of them. Shout out to umpires.
Yes.
But you get to be the umpire right
Okay.
now.
I got it.
So basically, I'll bring something up, a topic. If you like it or you agree with it, you call it safe. If not, then you call it out.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is intentional walks, safer out.
Out. Pitch. Throw her the ball.
I love that.
Pitch the ball.
I had a feeling for some reason. I don't
I
know.
don't think in
Maybe.
my all 20 years of pitching, I've intentionally walked somebody.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
I haven't.
I
I've
love
maybe
that.
thrown like one pitch out, but that's because I guess they thought the chick was stealing or something.
Well, yeah, that's different. That's base runner. That's different.
Yeah. But I don't think I've ever intentionally walked somebody.
I respect that. I love it. Compete every pitch.
Yeah. I think I've pitched around people like you can try
Sure,
to
like
get yourself
strategically.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I haven't like intentionally walked somebody.
You know how sometimes now you can just say, "Oh, we want to walk them," and then they just get to go to first base. You don't even have to pitch the
Yeah.
four balls. What do you
Never.
think about that?
I feel like pitchers should pitch. That makes the game a little more interesting. No, go because it's actually really hard to do pitch outs in
It is. That's
intentional walks.
exactly. That's why I'm asking because I'm like, I feel like you have to execute it.
Yeah, you do, but it's also a timing thing. Like being on ESPN, like you're in this time slot. I feel
Sure.
like so, just saving time. I feel like that's why they do that.
Yeah.
But pitch that ball, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can easily slip up and throw it right down the middle.
That's what I'm saying. It's happened. That's
I,
happened. Or just like gets
I
past
know.
them and runners advance and score or whatever.
Like
I feel
even with
like you have to make them do it.
Jocelyn Allo, like in college, and she already knew she was getting walked. She would already head to.
But then she's exactly the type of person where it's like, well, that's kind of scary. So,
Yeah.
like, even if you are trying to walk her, I'm
Yeah.
like, I
He's
better
just
not
like,
put this too close.
yeah, I didn't. I would say I kind of tried, not really tried to walk her north. I like threw around her. Like, I don't really think
Yeah.
I threw strikes. I was like, if she
Unintentional.
swings, she swing.
Intentional.
I just hope she don't put it 500 feet. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
but
that's
yeah.
fair. That's
So
fair.
out.
Okay. Yep. Yep. That was the first one.
Out.
Second one is transfer portal. Safe or out?
I'm back. I.
It's tough. I'm not
That's
making it
like in
easy.
between. I'm just with the opportunities that are out there, like for say Nija Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go safe because one, what softball player do you know $1 million? Like
Yeah. In college too.
in
Like I
that
know
in
Monica
that
Abbott,
route,
right? But yeah.
just because one, the background I come from, like $1 million to me would be like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going, you know? But also out where like, okay, you commit to a college, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, with that, but I'm definitely just gonna go, I'll go safe because like I feel like if I was in that position to transfer, get $1 million, all this type of NIL stuff, like I'm gonna go because
Yeah.
one, I have a family who, what, $1 million is, you know?
Yeah. Life
So I
changing.
guess it depends. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go safe with that one, but I also am out.
So tie goes to the runner, maybe.
Yeah, like I'm in between.
No, it makes
It's like
sense.
a rundown right now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's in a pickle. They're in a pickle. It's fine.
Yeah, they're in a pickle.
That's funny. Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Last one is bat flips. Safe or out?
It depends on how you bat flip and when you bat flip.
Okay, go on.
Like, like walk off freaking Grand Slam type deal. And the energy's like different. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, yeah, I know I'm that girl right now
yeah,
type of
yeah,
bat flip. Or like a smooth, swaggy bat flip.
yeah.
I'm bought it. I'm bought in. I'm bought
Subtle.
in. That
Yeah,
was swaggy. That was
yeah,
swaggy. You did that. You did
yeah.
that. But there are some where I'm like, as a pitcher,
Right.
this is just me now. Like, okay, we listen and we don't judge. Like, of course, I don't judge anybody who backflips. Go for your, if that's your moment, girl, have your moment. But don't look at me and throw that bat down because you're gonna come back into the box. I don't think I've had that happen to me though, but still, maybe. I don't know. Tiara Jennings hit one off me in Oklahoma, and I just like wanted to cry.
Well, to be fair, I think there are a lot of people a victim of that
Yeah,
during
yeah.
her
And I
career.
love her, so I think
Yeah.
I wasn't even too mad about it. But yeah, don't look at me and throw no bet like slam it down because we know we have a problem.
Yeah. Well, then it's like, oh, okay, so this is personal now. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, it's personal. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Squires ball inside. Okay.
Hmm. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm like, as long as you're ready for repercussions,
Yeah.
you
So
know?
like that type of bat flip, like all right. But like when you're like in the moment, obviously I know how that goes. Like I don't know. I was never like the player to like jump up and down, like scream and like I was always just like, yeah.
Yeah.
You might catch like a fist bump out of the air, like to point, like
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff like that, like keeping it calm a little bit. But I'm not against bat flips unless you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I do. I know exactly what you mean. But even like the pointing, it's like if you're pointing at your catcher, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah,
well that was me and you, that's
yeah,
even like a
like a
little different.
battery thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
do. Point out, like good call.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe I'll go safe. It's a pickle.
Video review. Yeah. Pickle video. I don't know. But that's what I mean. It's not like I gave you easy ones, let's be fair.
No, you did
So
not.
sorry about
Those
that.
were hard. But yeah,
But I appreciate your insight. See, this is why I
yeah,
like to do this.
yeah. I
And
mean, be yourself. Be yourself with
yeah,
the backflips, but.
Right. And it's like, and this is your thoughts on it. You know, other
Yeah.
people can say whatever they feel, safe or out, but like your
Yeah.
thoughts,
Yeah.
you know, always like
I
to
can
see.
meet people where they at. Like if that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah. That's
It's
fine.
cool. Just don't look at me and do that. Don't stare
Yeah.
at me.
I feel like that's a fair boundary. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair boundary for anyone.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
No,
joining.
thank you.
I've been
This was
wanting to
fun.
do this for a while, and I'm so glad that we were able to
Yeah.
talk all
What do you
things
think?
you're right. I don't know what we're doing. Rectified now, luckily.
Yeah.
But we were able to talk about like your college career, but then also all the cool stuff going on with AUSL.
Yes.
And for those watching the video, your hat on point, fire.
Thanks.
And cannot wait to see everything this summer.
Yes, I'm super excited. Thank you so much.
I've been wanting to have Odicci on the show for a really long time. I just think her story is such a great example of so many things that we love most about our game. And the coolest part is that it's still being written. So with that, let's bring it home. You've been listening to Bleav in Softball, part of Bleav Network. The show is available anywhere you get your podcasts, wherever you listen, including Bleav.com and YouTube too. Subscribe to the show, rate the show, and if you liked it, write a review. Follow us on X and Instagram at Bleav in Softball. Again, that's BLEAV. You can reach out to me personally on X at Jenna Becerra01 and Instagram at Jenna Becerra as well. As always, thank you for tuning in and catch you soon.